100 Winters, Retracing the Great Race Against Death, written by Jonathan Nathaniel Hayes, illustrated by Caleb Gingra. Chapter 9, Gaining on Galena. Through the fog, I spotted a large, dark figure ahead on the ice, standing starkly against the endless white of the Yukon River. In this vast, featureless expanse where the sky and earth dissolve into one indistinct horizon, the tall vertical shape stood out like an exclamation point. What could it be? For a moment, it remained utterly still. Then it lurched. It moved. That meant it was alive. I wasn't afraid, but I was deeply curious. Until I saw my dog team's reaction. Their behavior was unlike anything I'd ever seen. We'd encountered plenty of wild animals over the years: moose, deer, coyote, lynx, even bison. Each time my Seppala's prey drive surged. They strained against their lines, eager to give chase. When we met people on the trail, their reaction was different: eager, alert, even joyful. People usually meant pats, snacks, a short break. My dogs loved trailside human encounters, but now they did neither. They slowed from a steady lope to a cautious trot. Some of the less dominant dogs even began to balk. Whatever's up ahead, I thought, it's something strange, different. I scrambled to activate my mounted GoPro. This was something I had to capture. Dead, I muttered. The cold had already killed the battery. Figures. I dug through my clothing for my phone, desperate to record the moment. Then things got even weirder. As I drew closer, my lead dogs made an unprecedented decision. They veered off of the packed trail and forged through the deep snow to avoid the shape ahead. Was I looking at a spirit, an angel, fallen or otherwise? The dogs curved wide, dragging me closer. The form took shape and became unmistakably human. A man, in the middle of the Yukon River, more than 20 miles from Ruby, over 40 from Galena. How did he get out here? Why are the dogs afraid of him? Is he a hermit living in a cabin nearby? If so, why is he on the open ice, underdressed with no supplies? He stumbled forward, dragging one leg. Step, drag, step, drag. One hand was curled up tightly against his side like a stroke victim. His clothes were encased in ice. It took seconds to register what I was seeing. I only had seconds. Whoa, I called to the team to a halt and stomped on the brake. Hi, I said cautiously. The word came out more of a question than greeting. I still wasn't sure who or what I was looking at. Without a word, the man collapsed onto my sled as it drew alongside. No permission, no hesitation. He crumpled across my gear like it was his last hope. And then I understood. He was dying. Now he would live. That's what had unsettled the dogs. They sensed he was in between. His movements were clumsy, almost not human anymore. He was slipping from this world to the next. To him, another person didn't mean conversation or courtesy. It meant salvation. Kneeling beside him, I tried to remove his frozen boots. They wouldn't budge. He had only one glove. His bare hand, pulled into his sleeve, was discolored and rigid with frostbite. I dug out my spare mittens and anorak, packed chemical warmers around his hands, neck, and chest, and bundled his small frame in an oversized anorak. Then I handed him my coffee thermos. He used both hands to bring it to his lips, drinking it down like water. "What's your name?" I asked gently. "Where do you live? Why are you out here?" His skin was bluish. He wasn't even shivering. He just wanted to sleep. Severe hypothermia. I knew from my cold weather infantry training that when your core temperature drops to around 82 degrees Fahrenheit, the body stops shivering and sleep feels irresistible. These are the final fatal stages of hypothermia. His words came slow, slurred, and soft. He was a native elder. The lines in his weathered face hinted to a man that usually smiled, but today it held only exhaustion. My satellite messenger was gone, lost somewhere on the trail to Tanana. But Apple iPhones had just released a satellite text feature, so I fired off a single message to every contact I had in this region of Alaska. Minutes later, mushing legend Aaron Burmeister replied from Nenana. "I'm on it," he said. That was enough. As we waited, I pieced together his story. He was from Ruby, heading to Galena to see his ailing mother in the nursing home. Yesterday, his snow machine broke through the ice. He soaked himself trying to free it. Hours later, drenched and freezing, he started walking. In the dark, snow falling with no headlamp, he wandered in circles. Over and over, he fell into overflow. By the time I found him, he was only half a mile from his machine and encased in ice. An hour later, a faint buzz of a snow machine broke the fog. A state trooper arrived. The elder tensed. He was worried, but the trooper was kind and calm. I laid a hand on the elder's shoulder. "I promise, we just want to get you warm. More coffee's waiting." The trooper smiled, nodding along. Okay, the elder muttered. He let us lift him onto the snow machine. I stood there, watching them vanish into the fog. The dogs were curled tight in the snow, fast asleep. The long stop had drained their momentum. After multiple 60-mile days through overflow and wet snow, they took any opportunity for a break. They needed that rest day in Ruby, but Providence knew a life needed saving. I tried to move them, but they crept forward sluggishly. When I stepped off and walked, they sped up until I couldn't keep pace. Back on the sled, then they slowed again. I'd broken my mentor, Mitch Seavey's run-rest rules. Shorter trail breaks and longer village rests, they worked for me, but not for the dogs. Dogs learn patterns. A rested team runs faster and further. I knew this, but I hadn't practiced it. This was new, grinding day after day, no let-up. Mitch had told me, everyone's dogs are different. What works for my Alaskans might not work for your Siberians. And he was right. I didn't know my dogs well enough yet, not in these conditions, but I would, out here, by the end. When my snow machine team caught up, I rested the dogs again. When we restarted, the team slowly gained speed. Hatchet, the son of Druid, was the hero this day. Hatchet is a striking Sepala. Thick, rugged, ice blue eyes, wolf gray coat, a photographer's dream, strong and tireless like his father, but playful and detractible. Usually not my lead dog, but Druid was still steady while Vodka, King, and Juno were burned out. Hatchet is a striking Sepala, thick, rugged, ice blue eyes, wolf gray coat, the photographer's favorite. Strong and tireless like his father, but playful and distractible. Usually not my lead dog. Druid was still steady, but Vodka, King, and Juno were burned out. So I moved Hatchet into lead. Instantly, our speed jumped 1.5 miles an hour. Thank you, Hatchet, I said aloud. I needed you today. We skipped our final rest, just a quick snack. The team cruised the rest of the day at good speed. I remembered reading Leonard Seppala say that his competitors were often fooled by how slowly his team would start out at checkpoints, adding that they slowly gained speed as they went, while their descendants were true to form. In the 1925 Serum Run, young Edgar Nullner covered this same stretch in minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit temperatures. Half Athabascan, his father hailed from my mother's home state of Missouri. Edgar wasn't in it for the glory. I just wanted to help, he said. But he had another great motivation as well. His sweetheart lived in Galena and waited to greet him. He ran that 25-mile leg with an Athabascan love song on his lips, warming his heart against the brutal cold. When I reached Galena that night, word had spread. The local radio station interviewed me, calling me a hero. Honestly, I said, anyone who found him would have done what I did. I didn't do anything special. Then I paused, thinking of the tragedy that would have befallen had we taken that rest day in Ruby. I'm just grateful God had me where I needed to be when that elder needed me to be there. You have been listening to 100 Winters, retracing the great race against death. If you're enjoying these free audio chapters, I want to ask you to do a few things. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to give us a message to let us know that you're enjoying it. And then finally, return the favor by purchasing a copy. You can go to Amazon. We've got it on ebook, we've got it in paperback, and we've got it in hardcover, all with beautiful full-color photos from Caleb Gingras. Check it out. Until next time, Godspeed and happy trails.